Here.
It is 7 o'clock, and I'm going to call this meeting to order. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, council members, city officials, and our streaming audience. Welcome to the November 25, 2024 City Council regular meeting. We are meeting at 26 South Paint Street, Chiillicothe, Ohio, and I would ask the clerk to call the roll.
Bennett.
Here.
Payne.
Here.
Nickerson. Barnes.
Here.
McKeever.
Here.
Dement.
Here.
Preston.
Here.
Kroll.
Here.
Creed.
Here.
Ms. Nickerson contacted me and let me know and said it was all right for me to go ahead and let the council know that her mother passed away, and that's why she won't be here this evening. And I would ask if someone would make a motion to excuse her attendance. Motion by Ms. Payne, seconded by Ms. Bennett. Clerk will call the roll.
Bennett.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Barnes.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Dement.
Yes.
Preston.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Creed.
Yes.
Ms. Nickerson is excused from the meeting, and I would ask Ms. Payne to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The minutes from the November 13th regular meeting have been distributed. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions? Hearing none, I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes. Motion by Ms. Payne, second by Mr. Dement. Clerk will call the roll.
Bennett.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Barnes.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Dement.
Yes.
Preston.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Creed.
Yes.
Minutes are approved. We'll now move to reports of committees. Development Committee, Mr. Dement.
Thank you, President Shoemaker. Development has one item on tonight's agenda, item number 4, which is the second reading, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with a construction manager at risk firm to oversee the development of the new Chiillicothe Park improvements. Hiring the CMR as soon as possible is vital to this process because this firm will take all things about this project into consideration, including budgeting and public input, and bring everything together. And with that said, at the appropriate time, I'll make a motion to waive the third reading of this resolution. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Engineering Committee, Mr. Barnes.
Sorry about that. Thank you, President Shoemaker. The Engineering has nothing on the agenda, and we have nothing new to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Finance and Technology Committee, Mr. Prohl.
Finance and Technology has two items on the agenda tonight, but I also want to add a different or an additional item. So I would make a motion to amend the agenda and include the ordinance that was submitted to all council members at the beginning of the meeting.
Are you also?
And I'm going to waive the 3 day. I asked that we make a motion to waive the 3-day receipt rule so that we can accept this onto the agenda.
Is there a second to that motion? Second by Mr. Creed. The clerk will call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
McKeever,
Yes.
Dement,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Kroll,
Yes.
Creed.
Yes.
Do you have anything additional relative to your report?
Yes, Mr. President. We have also item number 1, which is a third read, which is an ordinance authorizing the city of Chiillicothe to automatically accept and appropriate insurance reimbursements, grants, donations, and other funds received for specific purposes in the amount under $10,000 and declaring an emergency. I ask for your favorable vote at the appropriate time. We also have item number 2, which is an ordinance appropriating funds for various end-of-the-year expenses and declaring an emergency. At the appropriate time, I will ask that we waive the 3-read rule. And tonight's, we just added item number 8, and which is an ordinance appropriating funds for the city of income tax refunds, transferring funds back to the general fund and to support the proportionate share of the income tax refund and declaring an emergency. And at the appropriate time, I will ask that we waive the 3-read rule as well for that. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Human Resources, Ms. Payne.
Thank you, President Shoemaker. We do not have an item on the agenda this evening and nothing new to report on. Thank you.
Thank you. Parks and Rec Committee, Ms. Nickerson is not here. Mr. Dement, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, Mr. President, Parks and Rec held a committee meeting earlier this evening to discuss the city partnering with Project Bad Apple to develop a new Frisbee golf course at Goldie A. Gunlock Park and appropriating $30,000 to purchase the necessary equipment. This request was approved and will be forwarded to the Law Director's office. Thank you.
Thank you. Safety Service Committee, Mr. Creed.
Thank you, President Shoemaker. We have one item on the agenda tonight, and that is item number 6. It's an ordinance extending the Chiillicothe Municipal Court Victim Witness Assistance Program, accepting grant monies received through the Victims of Crime Act and the State Victim Assistance Act, setting pay and providing health insurance benefits for the victim advocate position and declaring an emergency at the appropriate time. I'll make the motion to waive the 3-read rule on that at the request of Judge Street. We had one committee assignment, 24-097, and that is to appropriate $15,000 for the repair of engine 1 in the fire department, and that will go forward to the Law Director's office. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Utilities Committee, Mr. McKeever.
Thank you, President Shoemaker. Utilities has nothing on the agenda tonight. However, we had 2 committee meetings earlier. The first one to discuss 24096, which is to allow an easement across the southeast corner of the wastewater treatment plant on Environmental Way. And the second one was 24-100, which is to appropriate and reallocate funds from several lines for the budget purposes for appropriate $139,400 from sewer funds to the sewer supply and treatment. Both of those went through committee and will be forwarded on to the law director's office. Nothing further.
Thank you. City Service Committee, Ms. Preston.
Thank you, President Shoemaker. City Services has nothing on the agenda tonight and has nothing therefore to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Community Affairs Committee, Ms. Bennett.
Thank you, President Shoemaker. We have for first reading today about the importantly located adult cannabis operators within the Chiillicothe, defined by code chapter 3780, declaring an emergency. I think we have some input tonight, so I don't think that should be an emergency reading. I'd like to continue that into a 3 reading. I don't want us to waiver the 3 reading, and that's all for community affairs.
Do you want to make a motion then to amend so that we're not having the emergency added to that? All right, I'll accept that as a motion. Is there a second? Mr. Dement, the clerk will call the roll relative to the motion.
Bennett,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
McKeever,
Yes.
Dement,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Kroll,
Yes.
Creed.
Yes.
The ordinance is amended, and we'll now move to the reports of officials. Mayor Feeney.
Thank you, President Shoemaker. Just quick comment on tonight's agenda. Item 4. I'd like to thank Councilman Dement's consideration of this in his committee and his request to waive the 3-read rule. This is the first time that I'm familiar with the city working with the construction manager at risk. It's a process that has been recommended to us by the county, and I know that school districts often use this same process. But I do want to clarify the design elements portion of it is not necessarily related to the construction manager at risk portion of it. So we hire architects and engineers that do the design work. The construction manager at risk is the one that helps us sort of think through the pricing and managing the construction process. So I will piggyback that comment by saying I support the waiver of the 3-read rule tonight so we can get moving on that, but also by announcing that we got positive feedback from the state 2 Fridays ago, authorizing our request to utilize the county's award of the $5 million for the visitor center. What that means for all of us and this great crowd is that we can start having the meetings with the public and with American Structure Point. So we've had sort of some internal meetings that have gone forward, and now we'll be able to open that back up because we kind of fully know what funding we have and what's permissible in terms of how to use that funding. So that's exciting. I'm hopeful to have that meeting with Structure Point here in Chiillicothe still this year. And we're working on scheduling that, but December does get tricky. So our goal is to get it done quickly so that design can actually really start and be thorough. But I think the most likely scenario is before an already scheduled council meeting. But we're working with them to get a date scheduled. So good news on that front. And then just a couple updates and thank yous. Last Friday, we lit the Christmas tree at Water and Paint Street. I want to thank all the folks that volunteer their time with Shine On, the amount of work and fundraising and things that they do to just make the park look great. There was a great energy downtown on Friday night, despite a little bit of drizzle and some cold weather. It continues to be, I think, one of our sort of signature nights. We put up traffic counters last year during the holiday season, and something like 70,000 vehicles came through the park in that range of time when we had the lights up. So people do come. We're on the state of Ohio's sort of Christmas tree lighting or park lighting map. So they put in time and energy every year, and we definitely appreciate them. Sort of on that same holiday front, we're doing the trolley Christmas light tour again this year. It's sold out. it's free, but it's sold out in 3 days, which means there will be 800 trips total, 3 trips a night for five nights a week for 3 weeks, and just a neat experience for those who will be able to get in on it this year again in the trolley. And I believe that concludes my report. Thank you, President Shoemaker.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. Auditor Spetnagel.
I have 2 items on the agenda. The first one is an ordinance appropriating additional funds for the year. So I would like to have your vote to get that done so we can get invoices paid before year end. And then we are adding an ordinance for income tax refunds. Income taxes get extended throughout. So after that extension, a lot of times we have a lot of income tax refunds that we need to pay out. So I'm asking that we waive the 3 rule on that, so that way we can get this paid before a year and cut off and get people paid their refunds that are due. And then lastly, we will be having a budget review on December 2nd at 5:30. We've made a lot of progress on the budget. We are still working through a couple things, but we will be prepared to discuss that on Monday at 5:30. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Law Director Villarreal.
There it is. Couldn't get it on. We are very busy these days. We've had a lot of legislation coming through. We also had a judge retire down in the municipal court. That does create a lot of changes for our office. Different judges require different things, so we're waiting to see who that's going to be. Meanwhile, we're dealing with an interim new judge who has his own procedures and policies. So we're trying to keep up with all that and keep things flowing at the same time. So we're very busy. That concludes our report.
Thank you. We'll now move to the audience participation portion of our meeting. Any person wishing to address the council must first provide his or her name and address. Comments shall be limited to 5 minutes, and I'll give you a warning when there is 1 minute remaining.
I'm Janet Griffith, 603 Comanche Road. I'm here about number 4 on the agenda tonight, which is the park issue. I talked to you on the 27th of October and on the 13th of November about this. Where to begin? Okay, one question for the mayor. Is this man that you're wanting with the name that I can't remember, because it doesn't make sense to me, is he a contractor? Is he to do the park, the contracting of the park? Okay, well, anyway, I went to a meeting accidentally, so everybody in this council knows what I'm talking about. A meeting that I wasn't invited to, and I didn't know it, on November the 22nd. And it was a meeting to expose the park plans. And my husband went with me. And the park plans were, it was breathtaking. What they're doing to the park is breathtaking. We do not have a park left, and I told you that last time on the 13th. We will not. The road around Enderlin Circle, which is going to be 2 ways and parallel parking on both sides, it's East 2nd Street recreated in our park. That's the peaceful part of the park. The heart of the park is that part, plus where the armory and the ball diamond and things are now. That's the heart of your park. When the plans were put out, and now they altered them a little bit, there's a children's playground area now with a splash pad now, where the old school bus garage was up there. They're pushing all the public to the outskirts of the park. But anyway, I just think that the park is for the people. It's for every citizen in this city, like I told you before. It's supposed to be, according to the dictionary, which I gave you the papers last week, what Webster's dictionary says, it's a place for people to enjoy relaxation and recreational. That's all it is. It's not supposed to be businesses. And businesses shouldn't be in the park where we're charging a great amount of money and letting private people go in and make money. That's not the idea of a park. Now, my suggestion is to put the splash pad over by the children's playground. Let all children's stuff be there. Take your outside of your park, and we have 3 houses on Water Street that were torn down. And we have a bus garage it's city uses it now. But anyway, it's going to be torn down. Why can't those people go there and give us our heart of our park back? And Water Street should never be down to 2 lanes again. And that's for the roundabout. The man who designed this is from Indiana. I was talking to a man from the East End and telling him something about the park has got plans. And he says, well, who's doing them? I said, some man from Indiana designed them. And he says, well, I can tell you one thing they're going to include. And he never knew. A lot of roundabouts, because I
You have
guess
1
they
minute.
have them. So anyway, so we need to think over this before we take land that can never be replaced again, that can never be given back to the people that love that park. We need to rethink this and to maybe modify some of our plans. And so I would like a meeting with Mayor Feeney as soon as possible. And I do have things I'd like to ask you. So if you could arrange that soon, I know you're busy. I would appreciate it. I know I do. I know I do. I love this city. I love the people in this city. And Gary said this. My husband is Gary. And he said, if they're giving free park land away, I'll take a portion of it and we'll put up a skating rink there for the kids.
Thank you for your
Thank
comments.
you very much.
Good evening. My name is Pete Stokian. I live at 7 Deer Path here in Chiillicothe. I'm here speaking in relationship to the moratorium that's regarding the cannabis. That I would like to, first of all, unplanned, like to thank you for moving that out so that we have a little more time to address this. I have a prepared statement, which is kind of sterile. And then I have a personal statement as a father and of the owner of that business, our business that's related in a related industry. And also, this is the first time I've had done this in public. I have to put on readers now. That unfortunately is not due to age, due to the fact that one of our beloved Adina forgot to mention I have a brain tumor 5 years ago. By the time I found out, it was too late to do anything about it, and it compresses my vision. But I ain't going out like that. Good evening, members of the Chiillicothe City Council. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm here to discuss the regulations on cannabis within our city. As many of you know, the landscape of cannabis legislation is evolving rapidly across the country, and it's crucial for Chiillicothe to stay ahead of the curve to ensure both safety and economic benefit for our community. Firstly, it is important to recognize the potential economic advantages that regulated cannabis can bring. By implementing clear and fair regulations, we can attract new businesses, create jobs, and generate significant tax revenue that can be reinvested into our community. This revenue can support essential services such as education, public safety, and infrastructure improvements. However, alongside these economic benefits, we must prioritize proper education and proper equipment funding for the field test applications. This means relying on the FDA and the Department of Agriculture to continue monitoring these products at a federal level, ensuring that products are safe and accurately labeled, and preventing access to minors. Additionally, we need to invest in public education campaigns to inform our community and officials like yourselves about the responsible use of cannabis and basic science of the difference between legal cannabis and illicit intoxicating marijuana. Furthermore, it is essential to address the aspects of the cannabis that are most beneficial to our communities, like rehabilitation programs for drug users who rely on healthy alternatives. We should consider keeping the already operational business open, particularly given this disproportionate impact on these laws have on our marginalized communities. By doing so, we can promote fairness and equity in our legal system, as well as make use of the funds to address bigger issues in the community. Lastly, it is important to acknowledge the broader context of drug use. Drug use can seriously damage the health and have legal consequences. Therefore, our approach to cannabis regulation should also include resources to support those struggling with substance abuse, ensuring that they have access and the help they need via healthy alternatives. And that's what the alternative cannabis industry is focused on. In conclusion, I urge the Council to adopt a balanced approach to cannabis regulation, one that embraces economic opportunities while safeguarding public health and promoting social justice. Together, we can create a regulatory framework that all residents of Chiillicothe and keep these products available to those who truly need their benefits. I also brought copies of an accredited thesis from a highly reputable Ohio native and cannabis scientist, Daniel Kennedy. I have 13 copies. I'll set here. Oh, sure. Okay. Thank you very much.
You've got about 30 seconds left, but go ahead.
As a father,
go ahead and do what you need to there.
As a father of an owner of a related industry, I've been an entrepreneur since 1997 when I stopped working for Glick's Furniture Company in a consumer center. I've worked with small businesses all around Southern Ohio and Northeastern Kentucky. When my son was 2 years old, I said, that's going to be a businessman. Most of the people faces I see here are his customers. This gentleman here is another small business owner that has benefited financially from the creation of a new business. And so I would appreciate, I don't know any of you. I know that Mr. DeMint here has actually made a statement regarding this today that I read. I would just encourage a fair and balanced approach. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I wanted to thank you too. I think we're on the same page.
Thank you. And your name, ma'am?
Lisa Bennett.
Lisa Bennett. Thank you. I think I've heard of you. All right. Thank you. Excuse me.
Jamie Brown, 98 Douglas Avenue. I just wanted to come in two capacities, both with invitations. One, as a representative for Sojourners Care Network and Youth Build, I wanted to thank Council for the city investment with the One Ohio funds for the Youth Build program. We are already at work putting that into developing young people with workforce development skills and helping further their education. With that, I would like to invite the council, but also the room, December 12th, Thursday. If you want to meet and greet with the real Santa, we'll be at the Scioto Township Hall from 6 to 7:30. We would love to see all who are interested. On the second capacity, I am here as the president of the First Capital Pride Coalition. Back in the summer, there was a Unite Against Hate forum with city leaders and citizens, and that kind of transformed into broader conversations. And as a representative of the coalition, I want to just kind of plant a seed for folks to consider, regardless of which part of the spectrum you are politically. I hope that you're aware that the next few years are going to be a bit contentious. I know that there's going to be an increased activity and activism and demonstration. And I just want to, as a representative of a coalition that is strongly invested in advocacy, kind of open up communication channels. I think we should be having conversations because I think that we should be ready for disruptions when they occur. And so we're having a productive use of that disruption. I hope that doesn't sound too ostracizing. That's not my point. The positive is on December 14th, which will be 2 days after the holiday hot cake hootenanny with Santa, the real Santa. The 14th at Orchard Hill Church off of Western Avenue, the First Capital Pride Coalition will be having a open board meeting and a holiday dinner. From 2 to 5, we'll be hanging out We would love to invite council, also anyone in the audience. That's a free meal and a free conversation. So lots of thank yous. Thank you all so much for your investment in young people. And looks like you got a busy night yet.
Thank you. By the way, Mr. Brown, my family thinks I'm the real Santa.
Hi, I'm here on behalf of Western Avenue Exotics. My name's Wesley Alexander. I live on 7th Street, Chiillicothe. Yeah, sorry about that. Usually I'm on that side of the table. But I don't know. As a taxpayer, I feel like I should be allowed to choose where I spend my money. I'm not a big fan of that place out there. I pay my taxes. I work. I feel like I voted. I spoke just like everybody else in Ohio did. I feel that should be respected. We respect your laws. So whenever we vote on a law that passes, I expect the same in return. I mean, that's just the way society works, the way the law works. To address the issue of the company that is over there on that end of town, you might want to take a look at the Suboxone clinics, the free housing. You might want to take a look at the welfare department. Trust and believe it's not the people from Western Avenue Exotics. It's not nobody that goes in them stores. Nobody. It's the crackheads with the free dental over there with the welfare dental. And I'm not saying they're all like that, but I'm saying that's the company over in that area. It's not their customers. It's not me. It's not anybody that goes there to shop. And I find that kind of insulting. You'd assume that it ain't like since they've opened, it's just been a new group of people over there. This isn't news to you, nobody. Everybody knows it. It's not their fault. To address the teenagers, I mean, there's laws for that, and you need to apply those laws. And if you see a teenager, you arrest them. It's simple. When I was a kid, I got pot left and right. I mean, if you guys take them out of town, we'll still get pot. I mean, it don't matter. I mean, but I know this guy here ain't gonna sell me anything with fentanyl in it. I know he ain't gonna have LSD or some PCP or something in it. I know that I can go home and I can peacefully smoke, go to bed, get up and go to work the next day. It's just it's insulting. I pay my taxes and you guys are like, well, this is what you guys want, but no. The teenagers, I mean, they don't, if you go in that store, you get ID'd. I go in there, I know everybody. I'm in there all the time. I'm in there every day. They ID me every time. If I don't have my ID, I got to go get it, period. They'll say, Wes, you got to go get your ID. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, it's like going into a liquor. You want to shut the liquor store down because there's hobos over there? I mean, there's hobos over there. That's bad. You want to shut them down? I mean, dude, it's not their fault. They pay their taxes just like I pay mine. We all voted on this. You need to respect that. I don't want to spend my money out there. They overcharge like way overcharge, just so everybody up here can get a little piece of the pie. Okay, we don't want. We want that. The THCA, man. Just that's all I got. I mean, I really hope you guys. I'm angry. I'm sorry, but you guys, dude, I've waited for years for this to pass, and then you guys just want to like play with me, and it's really making me mad. I pay my taxes every year. I go to work. I don't commit crimes. I want to stay in my house and have a little fucking. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
I want to have a little bit of time
the clock
to myself
started
to
running
relax.
faster when you
I'm
said
sorry
that.
about
You're
that,
okay.
sir. I'm sorry.
You're all right. Just go ahead and finish up. You're okay.
I mean, I keep to myself. Potheads, they keep to themselves. I mean, dude, if they go home and they smoke and they sit there, my wife, right there's my wife. I'll send her to go do my running. Why? Because I want to smoke pot in the evening. So I'll stay home. I don't go out partying. I don't go to the bars. We want to just sit at home and relax. And dude, he's supplying that. So you ought to thank him for bringing this type of business to your city. That's all I really got.
Thank you. Appreciate the comments.
I'm pushing it. Okay. Hello, my name is Emma Simmons. I live on 7th Street also. I have a medical card. Okay. And when they moved in, I haven't been out there on Street since they moved in because they overcharge you. I can go out there right now. I can show you my medical card. And they'll tell you I take my money to them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna prove to y'all I have a medical card. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to see this. I don't I have a medical card. I can go out there to Sunnyside. I refuse to go out there because they overcharge you. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather spend my money on Western Avenue. If y'all take this away, y'all putting our lives on the line because people put fentanyl in that stuff. They put all kind of stuff in there. But we know when we go out there, we know that we getting the right stuff. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Freddie Markham Jr. Since I was 9 years old, I was diagnosed with ADHD, schizophrenia, paranoia disorder. I have ODD. I've been in and out. I've struggled with addiction. If it wasn't for these boys, these gentlemen here, I would not be able to be a father. And I would, if y'all wouldn't have nothing, because I promise you I'd have took it. You know what I mean? I was a meth monster, and you know, I went to my treatment. They come, I seen them, and the THCA helps me with my epilepsy. You know what I mean? My addiction, everything. It makes my world a whole lot better. If it wasn't for THCA, I wouldn't be around. This is my brother-in-law, Jeffrey. And he knows. He was there every day and seen how bad I was. The fat you see today, if you'd have seen me last year, I was 100 pounds. And I had track marks all over me. Now, you know what I mean? I don't. I'm seeing my kids again. My family's around. You know what I mean? And I'm not masking my feelings anymore with meth and a needle in my arm. And that's all.
Thank you.
As my brother-in-law here said, I'm his brother, Jeff Shelton. And so
You need to give us your address too, just so we have it.
It's 29.
Okay.
I
No
can't
problem.
remember.
That's
but
okay.
no, the things he said to you, they're very, very honest. He knows that during his past, he wasn't allowed to be a part of our lives as far as like a closeness. You know, he knew that my home and my family did not support or endorse those things. So to watch him go from 100 pounds, and he wasn't lying to you. He took everything you guys had, anything that wasn't bolted down as his. To see him make those leaps and bounds. And then I personally also do business at the place being mentioned. And, you know, it is a good thing. I do believe that there's good and bad in every single thing that we can do, or every policy, everything. There is good and bad. But I do see great benefit in what's going on with these guys. I too have been over to the other mentioned place, the Sunnyside area, and it's very, very high cost. Like it's unbelievable compared. And the feeling of being cared for and, you know, being acknowledged as a human being out here with these guys is second to none. And it's nice. You guys should feel privileged in a sense to have these people here. If it was going to be anyone, and I'm glad it's them. So that's all I got to say. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Victoria Lundy Stanford, and I live at 100 North Sugar Street. 3 years ago, my daughter OD'd. Okay, I had surgery back in September of last year on my neck. So they chose to give me perks too. Well, I chose not to use those drugs that leads to harder drugs. And so I have my medical marijuana card too. But the prices at Sunnyside is more than you can bear. Okay, so yes, I am on a fixed income. And so I say that to say that I think it would be unbeneficial to take that away from us, because only thing it's going to do is going to draw people back to the perks, back to the other stuff that they can get for free that's going to cause them to OD. Okay, I use marijuana for pain, and it works for me. And I think it's way better for your system than all these addictive pills. Okay, and I really think we need that place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Beverly Wilkes, and I live at 156 Hanover Drive, Chiillicothe, Ohio. I'm not a user of marijuana, but I do have close people I'm close to that depend on it just to get through the day. It's because of one has a long COVID physical ailment with constant tremors, and another one has some mental health issues that it keeps him okay. He's able to get through. But I am concerned about this moratorium, and I appreciate having the committee meeting, and you're listening to us then. You hear that the alternatives can be a lot worse if you're trying to go through the black market, because the fentanyl and overdoses happen, and we don't want that. So the moratorium for a year, maybe more, trying to figure out where you want these things, just seems a bit bureaucratic and overdone. Seems like just use the same kind of restrictions you have for bars. You don't want them near schools. I understand you don't want them probably near churches, and but I don't think it should take a whole year to study this. One thing, you're going to be losing tax revenue as well. You're just going to support the black market. And if you're going to have to figure out to study ahead of time, make it much shorter, 3 months tops. That's all I got to say. And thank you again for listening.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Melissa Maynard. I live here on 2nd Street. I want to piggyback off what she said. You may not want it in the churches. I'm an active church member here in this community. I'm not going to say which one. We don't need no pointing fingers or anything, but I've known them since before they opened the shop. And like they said, even though they name me by name and birthday, I have to have my ID each time. They make sure that you're of age and that you're doing what you need to do. And like they said, they just treat you like family. And prices are cheaper. It's easier for us. I'm on a fixed income. I was an addict for 10 years. It just helps. It helps take off that edge that we all have. And it's safer. It's a safer alternative for all of us. And we're not out here causing problems. Like they said, we're in our homes, smoking a joint and eating a cookie, so that's all I have.
Thank you.
Hello. My name is Tina Henderson, and I live at 984 East Main Street. And my question is, has crime increased since these businesses have opened? Have the police been involved in issues pertaining to these businesses? What is the reason why you want to ban it? I don't understand what the problems are that have caused this issue to come up. The prices are cheaper. They do help the people that want to enjoy this recreation or medical. The positives outweigh the negatives. All the benefits are much more than the negatives. They help people in so many ways, from eating disorders, mental disorders. There's so many, the list goes on and on. The reason you people want to shut and ban this business, it's beyond me. It is not hurting anybody. It hasn't proved to hurt anybody. Give it a chance. Let these people have a chance. They are helping our community. They are bringing money into our community. Why give it to the people on the streets that take it to the black market who bring in the bad drugs? Let the community take this money and use it for the positive of the people. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
My name is Mike Westbrook. I live at 163 West Water Street. On behalf of them, I've been, since recreational has been passed in Ohio for it to be here, I've been a customer. I feel like since they've been open, I've seen a lot of happy people around in my section where I live at. So why I'm saying this is because, I mean, I hear everybody in here, it's bad for the black market. Like, they're killing people out there for no reason, just to make a quick buck. For what? You know, when these guys are sitting here helping people that has problems, that has, you know, schizophrenia, like the guy said here, he would have stole all y'all stuff. So, I mean, good thing he is going to their shop, right? I mean, I'm just saying, not in a bad way, but I'm just expressing myself because I'm a big avid on cannabis, big avid. And I think if y'all take that away from anybody here that's supporting this, it'll be bad. So I just
Thank you.
That.
Hi, my name is Haley Leisure. I live at 233 South Mulberry Street. I've been a customer of theirs for a while now. Several years ago, I was assistant manager at Smoker Friendly right there in the shopping center. And I can tell you back when I was the assistant manager, we had a horrible problem with theft. So if anything was going on there, it was already going on before. When I was 4 months pregnant with my first son, my oldest son's father got shot and got killed in a marijuana deal gone bad. He died in my arms, and the fact that I can go there and purchase what I need without having to fear for my life means the world to me.
Thank you very much. We appreciate everybody who's come to speak, and I'm sure the council members will take into account what's been discussed here tonight. There'll be more readings on the ordinance and other discussions about it, that everybody will have an opportunity to come and have more input if they would like. All right. Well, once again, thank you all for your interest, and thanks for being here and giving the information to the council members so they can take that all into account as they take a look at this issue. So we really, really do appreciate you coming tonight. Thank you so very much. Now we'll move on to old business, and if there are any response. I got to get other people in here. Hearing no old business, we'll move on to petitions and correspondence. Do we have any petitions or correspondence? Oh, well, they should. Okay.
Check. I'm just
That's
checking.
Fine. Okay. Petitions and correspondence.
Thank you, President Shoemaker. I'd just like to update council. There's a mistake on the agenda. Item 4 should read with emergency language. It's not on there, but it was voted on at the last meeting. So just wanted to give everyone a heads up on that.
Thank you. Is there any new business to come before the council this evening? Any new business? Hearing none, we'll move on to the reading of ordinances and resolutions.
Thank you, President Shoemaker. We have 8 items on the agenda this evening. Item number 1 is the third reading of an ordinance authorizing the City of Chiillicothe to automatically accept and appropriate insurance reimbursements, grants, donations, and other funds received for a specific purpose and in an amount under $10,000 and declaring an emergency.
Clerk will call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
McKeever,
Yes.
Dement,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Prohl,
Yes.
Creed.
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted. Next ordinance.
Item number 2 is the third reading of an ordinance appropriating funds for various end-of-year expenses and declaring an emergency.
Clerk will call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
McKeever,
Yes.
Dement,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Prohl,
Yes.
Creed.
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted. We'll move to the next resolution.
Item number 3 is the second reading of a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a cooperative purchasing program with the Equalis Group and declaring an emergency.
Resolution will move to the next agenda. Next resolution.
Item number 4 is the second reading of a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with a construction manager at risk firm to oversee the development of the New Yoctangi Park improvements and declaring an emergency.
President Shoemaker, at this time, I would like to make a motion to waive the third reading of this resolution.
Is there a second? Second, Ms. Payne. The clerk will call the roll on the waiver of the 3 readings.
Bennett,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
McKeever,
Yes.
Dement,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Prohl,
Yes.
Creed.
Yes.
The waiver is approved, and the clerk will call the roll relative to the resolution.
Bennett,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
McKeever,
Yes.
Dement,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Prohl,
Yes.
Creed.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Next ordinance.
Item number 5 is the first reading of an ordinance to impose a moratorium on the location of adult cannabis operators within the City of Chiillicothe as defined by Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 3780.
The ordinance will move to the next agenda. Next ordinance.
Item number 6 is the first reading of an ordinance extending the Chiillicothe Municipal Court Victim Witness Assistance Program, accepting grant monies received through the Victim of Crimes Act and the State Victim Assistance Act, setting pay and providing health insurance benefits for the victim advocate position and declaring an emergency.
President Shoemaker, I'd like to make a motion to waive the 3-read rule.
Is there a second? Second, Ms. Payne. The clerk will call the roll relative to the waiver of the 3-read rule.
Bennett,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
McKeever,
Yes.
Dement,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Prohl,
Yes.
Creed.
Yes.
The waiver is accepted, and the clerk will call the roll relative to the ordinance.
Bennett,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
McKeever,
Yes.
Dement,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Prohl,
Yes.
Creed.
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted. The next resolution.
Item number 7 is a resolution authorizing the filing of applications and proposals with the Ohio Department of Transportation for grants through the U.S. DOT Federal Transit Administration as authorized under federal transit laws as codified 49 U.S.C. Section 5311, Formula Grants for Rural Areas and the Ohio Transit Partnership Program grant, both in Ohio's Rural Transportation Program, and grants authorized under federal transit laws as codified 49 U.S. Section 5399 grants for buses and bus facilities transportation program, accepting such grants if awarded, executing a contract with ODOT upon project approval, and declaring an emergency.
Resolution will move to the next agenda. The next ordinance.
Item number 8 is the first reading of an ordinance appropriating funds for city income tax refunds, transferring funds back to the general fund to support the proportionate share of the income tax refund, and declaring an emergency.
At this time, I would ask that we please waive the 3-read rule.
Accept that as a motion, seconded by Ms. Bennett. The clerk will call the roll relative to the waiver of the 3-read rule.
Bennett?
Yes.
Payne?
Yes.
Barnes?
Yes.
McKeever?
Yes.
Dement?
Yes.
Preston?
Yes.
Prohl?
Yes.
Creed?
Yes.
The 3-read rule is waived. The clerk will now call the roll relative to the ordinance.
Bennett?
Yes.
Payne?
Yes.
Barnes?
Yes.
McKeever?
Yes.
Dement?
Yes.
Preston?
Yes.
Prohl?
Yes.
Creed?
Yes.
The ordinance is adopted. We have no other business to come before council tonight. I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and make sure everybody is safe and healthy, and feel free to overeat on Thursday. I would accept a motion to adjourn. Ms. Preston, seconded by Mr. Dement. Clerk will call the roll.
Yes.
I'm seeing a pattern here. Bennett?
Yes.
Payne?
Yes.
Barnes?
Yes.
Yes.
McKeever? Dement?
Yes.
Preston?
Yes.
Prohl?
Yes.
Creed?
Yes.
Apparently, to the delight of some, we are adjourned.